Hello, and welcome back to our ongoing series, A Song of Philanthropy and Pedophiles, where we crawl through the freak archives and for all our best hits on Bill Gates, the Gates Foundation, and are combining them, recutting them, and bringing them to you so you can enjoy this divorce and all the dirt coming out about it as much as we are. In today's episode, we're going to talk about things Bill Gates likes to buy. And we're going to go all the way back to December of 2019 to hear about the Bill Gates Book Club and maybe get some recommendations. Then we're going to shoot forward to January of 2021. We have two stories. One about Bill Gates buying a private plane or maybe fleet of private planes. Maybe because one that he was flying in is no longer on the market. I don't know. But we're also going to talk about his purchase of large tracts of land all across America. Bill Gates, one of the largest farm landowners in America. Anyways, all that and more in today's episode. So I will see you at the movies.
Hey gang, welcome back, it's Bill Gates here. You know, from Microsoft. I'm here to tell you about my 5 favorite book reads of the year. Because it's Christmas time. It's just nice to sit down by one of your many fireplaces in your palatial estate and crack open a book. Well, I got a list of 5 great books here that are both informational and fun to read. My first book is by author Sarah Gay. It's called Her Guardian Boss, Fake Fiancé, part of the Christmas romance series. In it, Samantha Whitecliff has no family to celebrate the holidays with, so moving across the country during the Christmas holidays to start a new job is a welcome start to the next chapter in her life, a chapter where she finally plans to live life like there's no tomorrow. She realizes how true that phrase is when a car accident with her attractive new boss shows her the true meaning of Christmas. And if she's lucky, true love. I give this read 2 thumbs up, guys. My next big book that I enjoyed reading this year that I think all you should too is from the World Population Review. It's called Age of Consent by State, 2019. It's a state-by-state review of age of consent laws in the United States. I gotta say, I was turned on to this by my favorite local reporter, Katie Herzog, who, I think is really doing some brave work and explaining to people the difference between pedophilia and ephebophilia. So, look out for her work coming out on this pretty soon, called Epstein Didn't Do It, all right? I think it's going to be pretty good. So my next book on the list is a real thinker. It's about something close to my heart. It's from Thomas Bainter. It's called The Shit Book, The Poop Book. Let's get down to the description here. It says, this book is about shit. Not the shit you have in your closet, or those lying around the house, or the shit in your car. But it's about shit. The stuff that comes out of your body when you have to go to the bathroom. Not the stuff that comes out your front side, but the stuff that comes out your butt. It doesn't matter how poor you are, how rich you are, how ugly you are, or how beautiful you are. We all gotta shit. Isn't that true? And that really gets to the heart of what we do at the Gates Foundation, just helping people shit every day. Here's another fun one, maybe for the kids. It's from Jerry D. Young. It's called Home Sweet Bunker. One disaster after another challenges a group headed by 2 brothers. Lots of ingenuity is needed to save and protect their small town. It's a heartwarming romance with informative tips that are included on running your own bunker. I gotta say, after building my first bunker in New Zealand, I gotta hand it to Peter Thiel. He's right. It does feel good. Finally, I gotta go conclude with my favorite book of the year, and this one's just a fun sit-down-by-the-fire read. It's from Ivy Smoke, and it's called Temptation. It's book 1 of the Hunted series. Shy student Penny Taylor always follows the rules. At least that's how it appears to her classmates. But she has one illicit secret. She's fallen hard for her professor, and she's pretty sure he's fallen for her too. Everyone loves Professor Hunter. He's tall, dark, and handsome. and completely unobtainable. But it's the secrets hiding behind his deep brown eyes that allures Penny. Secrets darker than she could ever imagine. James Hunter gave up his billionaire lifestyle in Seattle last year to become a professor of computer sciences. I just added that in, guys. The easiest new rule to follow: don't fraternize with the students. It's easy to follow because he's become quite the recluse in his new town. The only way he knows how to keep his secrets buried. But he never expected to be teaching such a beautiful student. He has to resist her. He needs to walk away. Penny deserves better than a man with his demons. But she's daring him to cross the line, and he's never been one to resist temptation. All right, gang, so those were my 5 favorite reads of the year. I think there's a little something in there for everybody, so make sure you curl down by the fire on one of your many bearskin, elk skin, human skin rugs in one of your many giant rooms with a fireplace in your estate and crack open a nice book, because reading is learning.
Yeah, we do. Moving from one richest person on Earth to a former richest person on Earth, our good friend and recent orphan, Billy Gates, is in the news again.
Yeah, a recent bastard, too. You know?
So we found this on a Twitter thread, and I don't really know the origin. I assume it's a retweet because I don't follow this person, and I think I found it. But basically, our good friend Billy is trying to fill the hole, the void that is the loss of his father, and he's going to buy Blackstone. And there's a piece in The Guardian about this.
He wants a piece of the action again.
No, sorry. He's not buying Blackstone.
He's not gonna
joining with Blackstone.
Yes, sorry.
It's a joint venture, yeah.
Yes.
Steven Schwartzman is going to be okay. Don't worry, everyone.
He gave half our listeners a heart attack.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. So the headline of this is Bill Gates joins Blackstone and bid to buy British private jet services firm. Gates' Cascade Investment Fund teams up with U.S. private equity firm on offer for Signature Aviation. Bill Gates has joined a £3 billion bidding war to buy the world's largest private jet services company, just as he prepares to publish his new book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster.
Awesome.
Oh, weird that they would just bring that up. I wonder if there's some sort of juxtaposition they're trying to make. Oh, well, let's go forward.
No,
Probably not.
Yeah.
Cascade
No,
Investment,
I don't think
the fund that manages much of Gates' $134 billion personal fortune, announced on Friday it had teamed up with U.S. private equity firm Blackstone in a bid for British private jet operator Signature Aviation. The Cascade and Blackstone offer came just hours after rival American private equity firm Carlyle made an approach to buy Signature, which handles more than 1.6 million private jet flights a year. Cascade is already the biggest investor in Signature with a 19% stake. According to a study by academics at Lund University, Gates is one of the world's biggest super emitters. Wah, wah. Due to his regular private jet travel. He took 59 flights in 1 year, traveling more than 200,000 miles, according to the report, which estimated that Gates' private jet travel emitted about 1,600 tons of carbon dioxide. That compares with a global average of less than 5 tons per person.
Jesus.
Researchers have found that private jets emit up to 40 times as much carbon dioxide per passenger than commercial jets.
Hell, yeah. Well,
Yeah, remember to recycle, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
use,
just,
use those biodegradable straws.
Well, and what it basically says is if Bill Gates can no longer do private jet travel, like if he just vanished for some reason or another, we could add 360 more people to the planet.
Gates, who says in the foreword to his forthcoming book that he has spent a decade investigating the causes and effects of climate change,
Obviously not very hard.
Wow.
did not respond to requests for comment about his views on the carbon footprint of private jets.
Well, this is just like it was an Arrested Development where they find out that there's the private detective Martin Mull that their dad is, or that their mom's been hiring for years, and they're like, oh, I hired him to see if your father was cheating on me, and he never found anything, and their only response was, must not be a very good detective. That's Bill Gates right here. He's the Martin Mull character from Arrested Development. I'm trying to figure out where these carbon emissions are coming from as he flies his jet around.
I'm going to find it yet.
He's flying the jet, just circling around the world looking for him.
Never landing, having planes come up and fuel him while he's midair.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, we're in too big of a hurry. Don't worry about the link up. They're just dumping fuel everywhere.
The billionaire has previously said that owning private planes was his guilty pleasure.
Oh, hey, come on.
Oh.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, we thought killing Africans was his guilty pleasure.
Oh, geez.
No, he has no guilt about that.
Well, look, I get it. I can excuse the owning the private planes as a guilty pleasure, but does he really have to roll coal with all of them?
Rolling chemtrails.
In a Reddit Ask Me Anything in 2014, Gates said, owning a plane is a guilty pleasure. Warren Buffett called his the indefensible.
But still owned it and flew it around, just to be clear. God damn it. Fuck these people.
I do get to a lot of places for foundation work I wouldn't be able to go to without it.
Wow, that's so epic.
Places
Epic,
that don't have commercial flights that go to them?
Yeah.
What places are those?
Little St.
I wonder.
James.
Oh, wow.
Bill Gates.
Holy shit. He's just dabbing. Like, wow. He's just saying, I go to all the, like there's no commercial flights to Schwenborgenstein, the 30 Rock country in Europe for only rich people. That, I mean, is pretty much is like just the pedophile republic,
satanic republic of the pedophiles.
Yeah. There's places like that all over the world. I bet. Little St. James is all over. There's probably like tiny
Magnolia.
island off. Yeah, Magnolia. We know that's a tidal island with no airport.
Do we know whether or not? So, look, you can't tell me for a second that Bill Gates wasn't pissed that Jeff Bezos passed him, and now Elon Musk has passed him. Right?
So he's got to get back in the game.
He's getting back in the game, and he's like, oh, look.
Even though he's supposedly trying to give away all his fucking wealth.
Yeah. Epstein made a mint with a pedophile plane. What if I had a pedophile Air Force?
What if I had all the pedophile planes?
I mean, what's so poetic about this is Bill Gates and Steve Schwarzman, who's the chairman and CEO of Blackstone, right? Who by the way, is Schwarzman, huge Trump supporter, flaunty billionaire, who made his money off of basically vampiric finance, capital, and extraction. Is what private equity does. But their competitor, they're up against, right? They're all bidding against this private jet company, and their competitor is the Carlyle Group, who may or may not have been accused of doing a little something on September 11th, 2001.
Bill Gates is like, think of how many towers we could take out if we went fully private, this article, what it's highlighting here with his, carbon emissions and what a fucking sack of shit he is this reality? So Gates and every other fucking rich person on this planet is an awful Malthusian and is going to use climate change to justify some mass execution of huge portions of the planet. But then when you look at their lifestyles and stuff, their Malthusianism is about maintaining their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
if he has to kill 5 million Africans so that he can continue having his, flying around in the indefensible with Warren Buffett, that's what he's going to do, right? That's Gates's environmentalism. That's his Malthusian sort of nature, right?
Right.
And fucking gross. Fuck this guy. This guy fucking sucks. I hate this guy so fucking much.
Yeah, he blows. So there's another picture from an article in the Twitter thread, and it just says, "Thanks, Dad." This must be from some other British rag or something.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates treats his family to a Mediterranean vacation on board a 450-foot super yacht, complete with a submarine, 12 staterooms, and a helicopter to fly them to and from tennis. And it's got a picture of this super yacht.
It doesn't even have a tennis court.
It might.
I mean, if you look at the size of it, it could definitely comfortably hold a tennis court. This thing
easily
is a monstrosity.
Yeah,
450 feet. That's like, the yachts don't get any bigger than that. I mean,
like the helicopter on the yacht looks like an ant. They have to even circle it with a red line. You're like, yes, this is the helicopter.
That's where the helicopter is.
Like, let's zoom in on the helicopter.
Yeah,
that only has 12 staterooms. You could probably fit 400 staterooms on that boat. That means those are suites. Those are massive suites.
Well, you also have to have room for the slave quarters. That's not included. Crew quarters are not included in the stateroom count. Yes, there are definitely also large crew quarters for probably a 40-person crew. I meant more for the entertainment that he's probably bringing on board.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, who when you may or may not assume role of chief Epstein officer, you have to go big.
Yeah. Well, and when people talk about the rich drinking adrenochrome and shit, how is that crazy when you look at stuff like this?
That thing has a huge pizza kitchen.
Yeah, the ephebophile spares no
extra
expense.
Cheesy.
Just fucking grotesque.
Yeah,
fucking
awful. Yeah, things should happen to people. That's all I'm saying.
This is awful. It's awful to hear about. I hate hearing about these rich capitalist motherfuckers. So maybe we could hear a story of, some horny-handed sons of toil working the good earth, living the way we were supposed to, right? Colin, was there any stories about some good just American farm life that came out this week?
Yeah, there was a big story. I don't know what it is about this person and their spouse that has made them so hot recently, but yeah, I think it was something about building a baseball diamond so that he could meet his dad again.
Gates Acres is the place to be.
So I'm sure that
farm living is the life for me.
You've probably seen this headline by now or saw a tweet go by amongst people screaming about the minimum wage, but Bill and Melinda Gates became the largest private farmland owners in America as of last week. It was last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this article that we found is pretty long. I don't know that we want to read it, but it talks about how essentially, of course, it's credulous and lionizing of Gates, and talks about all the great work that they've done killing Africans and trying to destroy public education. But they've also created a agricultural group, which is headquartered in St. Louis. It's called Gates AG1. And its focus is on research that helps smallholder farmers adapt to climate change and make food production in low and middle income countries more productive, resilient, and sustainable.
That is so fucking perfect. It's like like how much clearer does it need to be for you to understand that philanthropy is just about fucking washing the blood off the hands of the rich? Because like this is so like, here we have the article. In the same article, they get to say, yep, Bill Gates is now the biggest holder of farmland, the biggest single holder, whatever it is. And in the same article, they get to say, and is giving a bunch of money for research to help smallholders. And it's like, those are two
competing
opposed interests, right? Like, I mean, it's just so fucking like, what more illustration do you need? But I mean, fuck, man.
Well, and again, I mean, this shows the extent to which we're mystified by this. Of course, when this came out on Twitter that Gates is now the largest landowner in America, instead of people going, "Oh, cool, so we live under feudalism," there was all this speculation of what could he possibly be doing with all this farmland, because it must be some techno-whiz project. My favorite response was somebody just saying, if he is the largest farm owner, I'm sure he's going to do great things with it, like feed the many. And
right. Because everything we know about Bill Gates, having the largest number of things, and his history of ending world hunger, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, and
a man who's chosen every day for the last 30 years not to fucking feed the many is going to do it now.
And as this article, which we'll link to in the notes from Successful Farming, as it sort of notes, I mean, this guy kind of tells this very windy story, but in it, one of the things he talks about is like, look, savvy investors are plowing millions of dollars into farmland because you can get people to work it for you, or you essentially become a landlord. Like, people will pay you to work it, or they'll buy it from you at a, increase in price, right? These are speculative assets, right? This is not a project.
It's speculation or rents, either way.
Yeah, basically, it's a win-win for Gates, because he's either your landlord or he's the guy who basically is fucking you when you try and purchase the land from him, right? But either way, he wins. And it's not like this is how rich people become rich. I don't understand why this is so fucking hard for people. Like, they become rich by controlling all the assets in society, right? But people were just seem to be totally hung up on this idea of like, well, if the Windows guy bought all this farmland, he must be building the world's biggest window.
Or it must be an innovative scheme, right? Not just like just basic needing a place to put money. These people have this obscene, to call it obscene wealth is like,
that doesn't give credit. Like, obscene isn't even enough.
Like, it's not it's satanic. This satanic wealth that they have to put somewhere. My God, that's what's the only thing that's driving the economy of the world at all at this point is fucking billionaires needing to put their money fucking somewhere. They have to own something.
And the thing is
why our fucking real estate prices are what they are in this town, because billionaires like Bill Gates and the rest of them have to buy land, because what the fuck else are they going to do? They just need the scale of the problem is such for these people in their minds that they just are desperate to find fucking shit to buy, because that will at least hold value and maybe pay out on that investment either through speculation or rents.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the connection to our free episode where basically, capital has won so much over labor, right? That it just has, it's like, what's his face? The duck, that Scrooge McDuck or whatever, diving in their like swimming pools full of gold coins.
Right, Scrooge McDuck failed to diversify.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what capital's doing. And so this is from that exact same article. Yet farmland assets aren't the sole component of the Gates' land holdings. In 2017, Cascade Investment bought a, quote, significant stake in 24,800 acres of transitional land on the western edge of Phoenix, the most populous city in Arizona and the 10th largest metropolitan area in the country. The acreage sits off Interstate 10, and it is poised to be accessible by Interstate 11. a proposed highway that would traverse 5 miles of the 40 square mile holding. This is literally
It's railroad shit.
This is railroad shit. This is the same scams that rich people were running in the 1880s.
Yeah.
Like, and so
buy up the land that you know because you have the political connections, because you have you're the smart money. Okay.
Yeah.
So you buy up the land that you know the railroad is going to go through, and then because maybe to buy it early enough, it maybe has to be not a sure thing, but you have the early intel because you're rich, and then you have the power to now that you've got your investment in place, you can make that, or you can make sure that does become a reality.
Yeah.
So now part of, by whatever means, part of that wealth will be used to ensure you can now, if that sale has gone through, you can fucking bet Interstate 11 will exist. That will happen. If Bill Gates has invested...
Bill Gates, the guy who's supposedly going to save us from climate change...
is doing Lex Luthor shit.
Yeah, and is doing a
Real
massive
estate
land
shit.
speculation deal that involves the creation of new highways and suburbs. The very thing that's choking us fucking to death on this planet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why, you know, we can't take any of this Gates Foundation shit seriously.
Yeah.
Because he's actually doing with the money is making life worse and essentially exasperating every problem that he claims to be trying to solve.
He's trying to make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think the thing about like landlordism that people don't get is they look at these people, and because we've lionized all of them and we consider Bill Gates to be something more than a man, like some sort of god emperor that has come down from heaven, like, maybe not
Where
quite,
would we be?
Not quite Zeus, but like Hercules or something,
Yeah. Hercules with pit stains.
Yeah, basically. So we don't think that they'd be engaged in something as ugly as fucking landlordism. But Warren Buffett, Bill Gates' close personal friend,
he really is the biggest landlord.
Yeah, a huge part of his fortune is because he is the largest owner of trailer homes in the United States.
Not just that, though. I mean, he owns all kinds of properties that people live, residential property.
But if you got a loan to purchase a trailer home, there's like an 80% chance Warren Buffett gave you that loan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And here's the, and
they have offices, Berkshire Hathaway, those Berkshire Hathaway offices you see in like strip malls and stuff. That's what it is. It's financing on they sell you the land and finance it in-house.
So what kind of landlord is Warren Buffett? Well, here's from the Seattle Times in 2016. Buffett's mobile home empire makes record profits while foreclosing on 8,400 homes. So he is brutal landlord.
How is that possible? They made a bad bet on all those loans, right? So they, as actors in the free market, Berkshire Hathaway, made loans to a bunch of bad loans that were bad, but essentially they made investments that didn't pan out.
Yeah.
So it's like buying a stock that turns out to be worthless, right?
Yeah. Well, and the trick is,
but how did they make money, Brian?
Well,
if those stocks were bad,
I had this neighbor as a kid. I had this neighbor as a kid, and he used to always carry around a pistol with him, which we learned one day because there was a snake in the backyard, and he shot. And granted, we live in a fucking city. Like, we weren't out in the country. We live in the city. And he just started blasting fucking into our backyard with this pistol. But I remember asking as a little kid, watching this guy just open fire on our lawn, asking my mom, like, what the fuck? And she was like, oh, he's a used car dealer. And as a kid, I just accepted that because, I was like 5 or whatever. And it wasn't until I got older that I asked her.
Cowboys, cops, and used car dealers.
Yeah, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, why would you have a gun if you're a used car dealer? And she's like, oh, well, because the way that his business works is he sells somebody a house who has he sells somebody a car that has bad credit. When they inevitably don't make their payments, he immediately goes and repossesses it and sells the car again to another person with bad credit. And so he ultimately sells the car about 15 times. And between all those down payments and all those payments on the car that he gets from them before he repossesses it, he's paid the car off 10 times over, right? And that's why he carries a gun. And that is Warren Buffett. That's what he's doing in the with Berkshire Hathaway. That's what he's doing in the mobile home market.
But Brian, what's Warren Buffett's gun in this analogy?
Yeah, exactly.
The answer is the cops.
Yeah.
The gun is the cops, folks.
Yeah.
You're the snake.
My neighbor at least had the guts to do it himself. Whereas Warren Buffett's
he's a small timer,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably a dying breed, because now at this point, the cops in most places like understand so completely their role. Like, I'm sure, if you're, I wonder. So, I mean, they send the counties, the county courts send the sheriff to evict you. They already do that. I wonder if in any places cops are called as backup to auto repossessions.
I mean, honestly, that if they aren't already, it's going to get there.
Yeah, it would amaze. Like, that is not in my mind. I have no like memory or knowledge of this, but that sounds so completely true that has to be happening. Like, as a matter of course, like maybe they're not doing it on contract, like because it's not because they don't have to. See, the reason the sheriff has to get involved in all evictions, basically in all legal evictions, is because you are asking the court. Because there are actually some protections for the place you live. We do still have some laws left in America that protect people. And so you have to petition the court, basically, to legally kick someone out of the place they live. Of course, that's all fiction, because they're just going to always do that. And so then the court sends its agents, the sheriff, to go enforce that. With the case of cars, like, they don't have to do anything. They can just come and take it in the night. There's no legal proceedings. They have all the rights there. But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, there are local sheriffs and police departments that are, like, regularly, like, will post up with a used car dealer or a repo service when they want backup. Like, that just sounds so... Can't you just see, like, Steven Seagal, like, we got to go over to one of these... This is a bad hombre over here hasn't been making his car payments. We're going to go help this repo man take the car back,
100% has to be.
It has to be going on, right?
Guys, they got the cops on speed dial. Growing up, a lot of my extended family lived in rural Indiana. And again, one of the eye-opening things growing up as a kid was realizing that all those farmers that we'd see out there and shit, not a fucking one of them owns any of that land.
Yeah.
They're all just contract labor on the fucking land. The land's all owned by like 2 people, and everybody else just works it. I mean, it is, this whole Bill Gates thing was interesting, watching people try and wrap their head around how the economy actually works. It's like, no, the capitalist class literally owns everything. Like, you don't have anything. They own everything. But yeah, so what's Bill Gates doing with all that land? He's a fucking landlord. That's what he's doing with it. He'll speculate, and whatever goes up in value, he'll sell to the next giant fucking, capitalist who wants to try and make money off of it. The shit that he can't successfully sell, guess what? You're going to have to rent it from him, probably at a fucking jacked up rate, because now he's mad he couldn't unload it.
Yeah, well, this is why you should live on boats.
This is why seasteading is the answer.
Yeah, exactly. Because, when your landlord wants to evict you from your apartment, you can't just steal your apartment, can you? Now, in a better world, a world in which the working class was conscious and working for itself,
a water world.
That's there are two paths we can go down. Right now, without a self-conscious working class, your only option is to live on a boat. Because you, as an individual, when faced with repossession and effective eviction from your residence, you can just steal it and disappear.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do. In a better world, you could do that with an apartment, but you can't do it alone. You need a united working class to help you steal your apartment from your landlord. When the landlord comes to evict you with the sheriff, you just steal the apartment and you say, "Sorry, motherfucker, this is mine now." You wanna do something about it? My working class brothers are gonna murder you.
Yeah.
And then you that's how you steal an apartment. Today, that's not really possible.
Yeah.
We'll see as this eviction crisis comes up. We'll see if we can get people together enough. If people get together and organize to steal their apartments. But I mean, it's going to take a lot to really do it long term, to really do it effectively. Some people have been trying, doing some squats. They were squatting in that hotel in
Tacoma.
Tacoma a couple weeks ago. They got fucking kicked out of and arrested. So they're making an effort there, but ultimately they got their heads caved in, you know? So right now, boat is still the best option as an individual because unfortunately we don't have like class consciousness.
Floating, not voting.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Get out of your land city. Get into your
This has to be a
floating
whole
city.
theme for the merch this year.
Yeah.
You know, marine, nautical themed seasteading. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
floating, not voting as a slogan, Colin.
Well, I wish I could take credit, but that actually came directly from that video.
Yep. Oh no, we're still gonna take it from him.
Oh hell yeah!
It's funny too because you are agreeing with them essentially, though they would float away for different reasons. Like if their governance provider, their floating governance provider instituted a tax that they didn't like, or any other authoritarian, statist, collectivist kind of policy, you just cut your line, you just leave. Fuck them, you just leave.
Well, lovely patrons, that is a little insight into the future. We are going to be talking seasteading this year.